For them, support for Israel is like a default position that they haven't thought much about because they were never really asked or questioned or challenged on it. It's a default position. My interaction with Christian Zionists has been that they are very shallow. They don't really know the facts. For them, it's just a given that Israel, because they read about Israel in the Bible, and they equate the Israel of the Bible with the modern day state of Israel. They equate the Palestinians with the Philistines that were being, frankly, ethnically cleansed by the Hebrew tribes in the Old Testament. They sort of jump over 2,000 years of history, and they jump over most of the New Testament. So that when you sit with them and to talk to them and you quote the Bible to them, they are very liable to change their positions. But you have to talk to them in biblical terms. You have to quote scripture to them. You can't quote to them international law. What do they care? You can't quote to them the dangers of World War III. They say, bring it on. That's the end times. That's the second coming. That's wonderful. You have to talk to them about Christ's love, Christ's compassion, Christ being the Prince of Peace, Christ being open to everybody, to salvation. For God so loved the world, not just the Jewish tribe, that he gave his only begotten Son. So whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. When you talk in that language to many Christian Zionists, they say, we never thought about that. Maybe you're right. Maybe there is room for us to talk and to discuss. The problem is that most people who oppose Christian Zionism don't use that language. Instead, they say, you're crazy. We can't live our lives. We can't run our politics based on what you say because it's destructive. And they say, okay, destructive it is. This is what we believe. This is what the Bible teaches. God said it. I believe it. That settles it.
Right. What is your sense, Jonathan, of how much this may affect President Biden's view of the situation? Biden is not a Christian Zionist. He is a Catholic Christian who is a believer in Zionism, but we should not merge those two together. But how do you feel Joe Biden is influenced by this conservative Christian framing?
I think less so than, for example, somebody like Michael Pence or Pompeo from the old administration. They were evangelicals and they were Christian Zionists. I think Biden is more of a politician. I don't think his Christian faith really is involved too much in his politics. He is a Catholic, as you mentioned, and the Pope has been very clear about what the Bible, what Christians really need to do about the current crisis in Gaza. So I don't think Biden is himself a Christian Zionist. You find more Christian Zionists among white evangelicals who tend to be more Republican than Democratic. So Christian Zionism is a phenomena more closely allied with the Republican right-wing politicians, but there are people who are manipulative. These are politicians. They don't really care. They don't really believe. That's not what motivates them. Rather, it's interests.